Rain poured endlessly over the small town of Naren, painting the streets in shades of silver and sorrow. Amid the storm walked a boy named Aiden, his shoes torn, his backpack soaked. But his eyes burned with something the world couldn't wash away: hope. Aiden's world had never been kind. His father disappeared when he was 10, leaving behind only debts and silence. His mother worked 3 jobs, her hands blistered from endless shifts. Yet she still smiled when Aiden showed her his school reports, full of dreams and grades. He wanted to be an engineer, to build things that lasted, unlike promises. Every morning before sunrise, he would sit near the old bridge, sketching ideas in a battered notebook. It was his sanctuary, a place where failure turned into blueprints of possibility. But the world often mocks dreamers. His classmates laughed at his old shoes, his cheap pencils, his lunch of rice and salt. Still, Aiden never fought back. He simply whispered "someday" and turned another page in his notebook. He believed his someday was worth waiting for. When his mother fell ill, everything collapsed. Medical bills towered over them like dark mountains. Aiden worked nights at the local garage, fixing rusted engines until his hands bled. Yet each night before sleeping, he still sketched. Hope lived in the lines he drew. One night his mother whispered weakly, "Don't give up, Aiden. You're meant for more." Those words became his armor. He carried them everywhere, through exhaustion, hunger, and endless rejection. They were the echo that reminded him he still had a reason to fight. At school, a competition was announced: Design the Future. The winner would earn a scholarship to the city's top university. Aiden's heart raced. This was his chance, the bridge between his reality and his dream. He promised his mother he'd win it. Days turned into sleepless nights. He built his prototype using scrap metal and discarded circuit boards. The garage became his laboratory, the scent of oil mixing with hope. Every spark from the welding torch reminded him that light is born in struggle. But not everyone believed in him. "You'll embarrass yourself," sneered Caleb, the mayor's son and favorite to win. Aiden only smiled. "Maybe," he said softly, "but at least I'll try." He knew courage didn't mean victory. It meant refusing to stop. When the day arrived, Aiden stood before the judges with trembling hands. His voice cracked as he explained his design: a self-charging bridge that powered nearby homes. The audience laughed at first, but then the lights on his model flickered, glowing faintly, then bright. Silence filled the hall. The laughter stopped. The judges leaned in. The boy who fixed engines and drew dreams from scraps had built something real, something that worked. In that moment, Aiden didn't see the crowd. He saw his mother's smile. But fate wasn't done testing him. A week later, he was disqualified. The committee claimed his materials weren't standard. Caleb won by default. Aiden stared at the rejection letter, his knuckles white, his dreams slipping through his fingers like rainwater. He wanted to scream, to break something, but his mother's voice echoed inside him: "Don't give up." So instead, he wiped his tears and returned to the garage. If they took one bridge from him, he'd build another, stronger, higher, impossible to ignore. Each night he refined his design, testing, failing, rebuilding. He uploaded his progress online, not expecting anything. But his posts started gaining attention. Engineers commented. Professors shared his work. "Who is this kid?" they asked. "He's brilliant." One evening, Aiden received an email that made him tremble. A professor from the capital invited him to present his project at a national innovation expo. They offered to cover his travel costs. For the first time, the world opened its door a little wider. He showed the letter to his mother. She smiled faintly, tears in her eyes. "See, Aiden? The world is finally seeing what I've seen all along." He hugged her gently, feeling her heartbeat slow against his chest, wishing it would never fade. Before he left, he sat by the bridge where it all began. The wind was cold, but his heart was steady. "I'll make it, Mom," he whispered. "For us." He tucked the old notebook into his bag. It was no longer just paper. It was proof of survival. The city lights dazzled him, but Aiden stayed focused. The expo was enormous. Robots, AI systems, solar drones, but none carried the soul his project did. His model stood humbly in the corner, glowing softly, quietly demanding to be seen. When the judges approached, Aiden spoke not of science, but of struggle. "I built this from nothing," he said, "because sometimes, when life gives you nothing, you learn to build everything from it." The crowd applauded, not out of pity, but respect. As the hall erupted in applause, Aiden closed his eyes. He didn't know what awaited him next, but he felt his mother's voice, warm and clear. "You did it, my son." And for the first time, he believed not just in his dream, but in himself. Months passed since the expo. Aiden's design had gone viral. People across the nation spoke his name. Yet fame felt strange. He still walked the same streets, still helped at the same garage. He didn't chase glory. He chased purpose. The scholarship arrived with a letter sealed in gold. "We are honored to offer you full admission," it read. Aiden held it tightly, tears forming. He looked at the empty chair where his mother used to sit. "We did it, Mom," he whispered into the quiet. University life was overwhelming. Bright minds, loud ideas, and endless pressure. Aiden often felt like an outsider among those who'd never known hunger. Yet every time he felt small, he'd open his old notebook. Its worn pages whispered courage. He threw himself into projects: solar roads, smart irrigation, sustainable energy. But one night, while working late, he saw the news. Heavy floods had destroyed his hometown. The same bridge he once dreamed of rebuilding had collapsed. His chest tightened. Neyron was drowning, and the people he loved were suffering. Without hesitation, Aiden packed his tools and boarded the earliest bus home. Dreams mean nothing, he thought, if they can't protect the ones you love. When he arrived, the scene was devastating. Mud, wreckage, and despair. Families huddled under broken roofs. Children cried. The old garage was gone. Aiden knelt beside the ruins and clenched a handful of wet soil. "Not again," he whispered. The mayor stood helpless. "We can't rebuild without funding," he said. Aiden stepped forward, soaked and trembling. "We don't need funding," he declared. "We need faith in people willing to work." His eyes burned with the same fire as before. He gathered volunteers, friends, neighbors, even those who once mocked him. Using scrap metal, local materials, and his old design, he began reconstructing the bridge. It wasn't about recognition anymore. It was about giving his town a reason to stand again. For weeks, they worked under the sun and rain. Aiden guided them, teaching as he built. He showed them that innovation didn't belong in glass towers. It belonged in muddy hands and tired hearts that refused to quit. News spread fast. Reporters came. "A young engineer rebuilding hope," they said. Donations poured in. Engineers volunteered remotely, offering guidance and parts. What began as one boy's dream became a movement of resilience. But one night, exhaustion caught up. Aiden collapsed from fever, waking up days later in a small clinic. "You need rest," the doctor warned. Aiden smiled weakly. "Rest can wait," he replied. "Bridges don't build themselves." When he returned to the site, he saw the impossible. The townspeople had continued without him. They were welding, hammering, laughing. His blueprint had become their heartbeat. For the first time, Aiden realized, true strength is shared. The day of completion came beneath a golden sunrise. The bridge stood tall, strong, self-powered, and beautiful. As Aiden cut the ribbon, children cheered, and elders wept. The bridge didn't just connect land, it connected lives. Standing there, Aiden felt a breeze pass through him, warm and familiar. "You did it, my son," he imagined his mother saying. He smiled, eyes glistening. "No, Mom," he whispered. "We did it, together." The government later offered him a position as a National Innovation Advisor. But Aiden politely declined. "My place is here," he said, "helping small towns like mine find their own strength." His story wasn't about rising above, it was about lifting others. Years later, children in Neyron learned about the boy who built the Bridge of Hope. They told his story in schools, drew pictures of him holding blueprints. To them, Aiden wasn't just an engineer. He was proof that dreams can outlast despair. Aiden often visited the bridge alone at dusk. Lights powered by its own energy system flickered gently like stars on Earth. He'd sit there, sketching quietly, thinking of new ways to help. He no longer dreamed of escaping hardship. He dreamed of transforming it. Once, a young boy approached him, clutching a torn notebook. "Sir," he asked shyly, "do you think I can build something too?" Aiden smiled. "Of course," he said softly. "Start with what you have. Build with what you believe." That night, Aiden realized something powerful. Hope is not a gift you receive, it's one you give away. And the more you give, the more it grows. His mother's voice still echoed in his heart, as alive as ever. As dawn painted the sky, Aiden looked across the bridge, solid, shining, alive. "This," he whispered, "is what it means to never give up." And as the wind carried his words away, it seemed the whole world finally understood.